Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Time Out with Steven Scott, presented by Baldman Entertainment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, we loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping. With news that's jaw dropping, they getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening, if you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and live with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater, you better just let it go when all coming attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Welcome to episode 96.
And I have to. Oh, I'm not muted. Wow.
Frank, you want to do the intro?
No, man. I figured for sure I was muted already.
Have at it, man.
Nah.
Let it rip.
All right. Welcome to Sports on Tap. I'm Chris. This is Frank. That's Joe.
Switch that, man.
That's Joe. That's Frank.
No. I'm glad to see at the start of the show we're already off the fucking rails. This is fantastic. I love
What
it.
the fuck is going on?
You knew not to throw it to me on that one.
Holy shit.
I'll
The
make shit.
The
fucked
fact that
up.
we're already off the rails is just it's amazing. All right, let's do this properly. This is episode 96 of Sports on Tap. I am Chris. That's Joe. That's Frank. That's how you do it. You get it right.
I'm who?
Joe.
Who am I? Okay, all right.
You're Frank.
I'm Frank.
I'm Chris.
I take great pride in the fact that out of all the shows we've done,
Yeah.
I've never fucked up the
Not
order or
one
names.
time.
Not once.
You haven't.
Now I know next week I'll totally fuck it up just because I said that.
He'll
but-
fuck around and change the order. Of
Oh
it.
yeah, I'll change the order, but
Sometimes it be you. Sometimes.
But
be
I
me.
never said like Joe Dragata or
Yeah.
Frank. I've never done that.
Yeah.
So I take good pride in that.
My brother watches. My brother would appreciate that because his name's Joe.
Speaking of the show off rails, I just have to bring this up. We've been on the air now for what?
2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah, a total of 8 minutes with the intro.
Yep.
And it just now popped up. Restart to install the latest Windows update.
Of course. That thing hates you so much.
I fucking despise Bill Gates.
Oh my god.
3 minutes of an actual show, 8 minutes total with the intro, and already it's like,
Already, you got it.
Hey,
You got it updated.
Restart your computer
Right.
for a Windows update.
Does it force you to do it right now?
No, I can.
I would hope not.
Right, if it did, we'd be fucked.
Well, I didn't know if we were talking into blank air right
Yeah.
now.
No, we're not. Thank God.
So
For the 5 people that are listening. Right
yeah.
now. Thank God.
So for the 5 people that were listening, we're going to start off with Frank's Detroit Lions, and this was the Frank Dragata Bowl this past weekend with the Lions taking on the
Told you
Jacksonville
guys.
Jaguars.
Lions by a million.
That's what I said. Lions by a million, and me and you were right. Joe, not so much. Joe was wrong. Now you watch that game, and
Congratulations, Joe. You picked against the Lions and were wrong.
I know, right? That's how it generally goes, though.
It doesn't normally
But,
happen like that.
like,
Usually
you-
you say loss and it's a loss.
Like you watch that game, and I'm just kind of like, all right, neither of these teams are very good. But I watched the Jaguars. I'm like, man, God, we thought they might be for real. Yeah, that team's not for real. That team's
They show glimpses of it at times.
That team-
I think they're going to be fine.
Man.
Listen, they are no competition for the greatest 5-7 team I've ever seen in.
They're talking playoffs,
in
man.
the NFL.
Playoffs.
I mean, this is the greatest 5-7 team I have ever fucking seen in the NFL ever. I mean,
No.
since the Super Bowl era,
hey, Vegas sees it that way too because they're favored against the Vikings this
the
weekend too.
greatest. 5-7
Sarcasm
team.
aside, what will it take for you guys to finally believe that this team is a decent team?
I don't think there is anything, to be honest with you.
Okay. It was just a question.
If they make the playoffs, to me, that just signifies that this is a shit league.
No.
It does. Because honestly, if you look at this league,
Chris,
it's a shit league.
Chris,
So-
you're talking playoffs. Nobody's talking playoffs. Well,
Oh, that's
everybody's
But
talking
you-
playoffs.
I'll say, hold on.
I am not talking playoffs.
But you
here.
asked me what it would take.
Right.
And I said, even if they make the playoffs, it still wouldn't change my mind. Because
Okay.
this is a shit league.
So hold on. I am 43 years old. I've never seen an actual good Lions team in my entire
Okay.
lifetime. So what's it going to take? I don't know. Fucking put together back-to-back winning seasons and make the playoffs and actually win a playoff game.
Okay.
I mean, in the Super Bowl era, they have one playoff win.
Yeah.
They're the worst. So the track record tells me that
That's why I made the joke earlier.
right.
Usually you can pick the Lions to lose and be right.
But I mean, I'm coming aboard though. They are the greatest 5-7 team I've ever seen in my life.
I'm interested to see where things are going to go with this team because I see the makings of something. Now, is it going to continue to go in that direction? I don't know.
I see the makings of something too. I see the makings of Lions fans being purely disappointed again at some point real soon.
And quite honestly, I have nothing to argue.
And I'm on board.
History shows you are correct.
I'm on board for this because I love when Lions fans get their hopes up
Okay.
and then get completely shit on.
What I am
That
going
is fun to watch. I don't.
It
disagree
really
with
is.
I don't like being shit on per se.
Well,
Hey, some people like that. All right.
Yeah, that's why I said it. I'm not here to judge. If that's your thing, that's your thing. I prefer not,
I mean, all right. So
even as a Lions fan.
so here's their final 5 games. You ready?
oh, they're winnable 5 games.
They're absolutely all of them are winnable. The one that
Here's the one thing I want to give you before you get into this though.
yeah,
Even if they win
Right.
every game,
right.
they still only have an 89% chance of making the playoffs if they win every single game from here on out.
And I get where the playoff talk's coming from, and I know the two of you have told me more than enough that everybody else in the fucking world is talking about this team going to the playoffs.
That's all they're talking about right now.
And I watched the game on Sunday. There were graphics and everything where
Frank,
they were
because-
still in the hunt.
Because this is the greatest 5-7 team you've ever seen. They're the greatest 5-7 team
Well, I mean,
ever in the NFL.
who was it a couple years ago? The Giants, who were under 500 and made the playoffs.
I mean,
So they were 5-7 at one point, but
You know how
they
if
were
you-
also a playoff team.
but they weren't the greatest 5-7
They
team.
may have been though, because they made the playoffs.
They weren't though. This team is better than that.
That's what I hear. That's the rumor going around.
And that's what I was waiting for.
That's what I hear. That's the rumor going around. I mean,
So anyway, Chris, go ahead.
So-
the games,
yeah. Let me pull that back.
the remaining games. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I got to pull it back up. Hang on a second. Here we go. All right, yeah. So the remaining games are versus Minnesota, which they are favored to win this weekend.
They won.
They got at the Jets. They have at the Panthers.
At the Jets,
At the Jets.
they're gonna lose that one.
At the Panthers.
They'll win that one.
Versus the Bears.
Hold on. We're going to log these.
At home,
Yes.
they'll win that one.
And at Green Bay.
Oh, that's a tough one. Even in Green Bay, even though they're shitty.
So there's a chance they could go forward.
I mean, listen, they're all winnable games.
They are. Absolutely they are.
They're all winnable games.
But, I mean, there's a chance they could go 4-1 and not make it. Because you said, even if they win all of them, there's only an 89% chance.
If they win every single game,
Right.
Yeah.
there's an 89% chance they make the playoffs. That honestly, the funniest thing to me is that New York Giants Washington Redskins tie.
Oh, God.
And yes, I call them Redskins. That tie
It was horrible.
actually hurt them.
Who hurt the Lions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they needed at least one of those teams to lose because in the playoff scheme, a tie is better than a loss. So
Yes.
if that tie actually fucking hurt them.
And lose this week to Minnesota, which is what you did a few weeks back, and you can say goodbye to it altogether.
Yeah.
Like, in
Well-
all honesty, don't even begin to even consider going to the playoffs until you can beat the Vikings this weekend. Then you want to talk about it after
Well,
that?
no,
then
but-
you have a chance.
But then they'll just be the greatest 5-8 team you've ever seen.
I mean, that's why it's so hard to have a serious conversation.
So, right now, as things stand right now, they are technically 2 games behind Washington.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't see it happening. I really don't.
Lots of people do, though.
I know. Like we said before, like why do you put all your support behind this team? And again, do you do you? But if it comes crashing down, which you and I both believe it will, what do you say then? What does that fan say then?
I just don't understand the year after year after year of complete and utter failure and just getting your nuts kicked in every year as a Lions fan. And then they're 5-7. They've won a few games in a row. They won a few games. Like, they're 5-7. And you're like, yes! Woo! We're on the map!
Yeah, but here's where my question comes in. Because literally, up until just now, none of you guys had anything to say backtracking about the Jaguars being for real. Even when I've mentioned that numerous weeks in a row now.
I didn't backtrack on it.
That's why I said none of you backtracked on that.
Yeah.
But now Chris is saying the Jaguars suck.
Oh.
After seeing
now they suck. Now they're not good.
No, after seeing that display,
They got their shit pushed in.
I know they did, but so it's hard for me to say that team's for real.
But you specifically said they were.
I don't disagree with that. I did say they were.
And
what do
that's
you want
what
me to say? Do you want me to say that I didn't say that? Is that where you're trying to go here?
What I'm trying to get out of you right now is why is it now that the Jaguars suck when I gave you the out for the last few weeks to just admit they
because
did?
you gave me the out, I had to take it? Is that what you're saying?
I'm asking you a question.
I'm asking you a question because you gave me the out. I had to take it? Is that what you're saying?
I love this. This is fantastic. So basically what it is, if I can
I can't judge on my own when I decide to jump off a
yelling.
fucking bandwagon when I decide to say a team's not for real.
Stop yelling.
I'm not going to stop yelling. Answer my fucking question then.
All right.
Have fun.
So what I'm gathering is because guys, are we serious right now? Okay. Well, there's that. All right. Well, that was fun. I think
Whatever,
I think what he was saying is basically he was saying that because now they lost to the Lions.
No, I get it.
All of a sudden.
No, I get
there.
it. I understand exactly what he was saying.
Okay.
I do, but I'm trying to question him as well. So you're trying to tell me when I can just say a team's not for real? But he couldn't answer that question because I actually challenged him back. Whatever. Bye.
Okay. So, on to, is this team actually for real? And on my terms, I'm jaded.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a very jaded person with them. So for me, I'm going to say no. I mean, we've seen them go 5-7 before. We've seen them We've seen them make the playoffs.
Well, now I have to ask Frank if I can say if they're for real or not, because it depends now when I say they're not. So I don't know what to do here. He has to tell me when I can judge that. I don't know what to say here.
So, and we're not talking about the Jaguars this time.
No,
we're talking about the Lions.
Yeah, I don't know what to say here. So if I say that they are for real, so now you say they're for real? Like, what? How do you decide that? You know?
I don't know. I mean, I decide based on. I've never seen this team ever be for real.
Like, personally, no, I don't think they are. Because again, as you just said, we've seen this numerous times.
That's where my question comes in with the Lions fans.
I will say for the specific reasons, two reasons. One, we've seen it for basically the entire existence of this franchise.
Yeah.
Also, I don't believe in their head coach. I don't. I think he's going to find a way to screw up two of these fucking games.
I think that's one of the biggest reasons for me, and maybe it is my hatred, maybe it is my jadedness, if that's even a word. But yeah, I don't. That's the biggest thing for me is I don't have faith in Dan Campbell.
No, neither do I.
I still, I don't care what anybody says. I still think he's a clown. I think this team is winning despite him, not because of him.
Right. Do I think they're better? Yes, they are. And I don't think you can. Like, I don't think you can absolutely say that they're not better because
Right.
they absolutely are better.
Right.
They do actually have a legitimate offense. They can put points on the board.
They have a fight.
Yes,
In them.
They have a competitiveness.
Which is listen, for anybody who is a fan of any NFL team, any football team, you want to see that. You want to see the fight.
Right.
You want to see that fight. But again, there's more than just that to winning in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I don't know. I'm not the guy to talk about this team because I'm just severely jaded. I really am. I'm severely jaded. I know I am.
No, I think both of us are. I'm trying to look at this as objectively as I can.
I can't. I really can't. I can try. And if I'm looking as objectively as I can, I'm going to look at this team and say, listen, they do have fight.
Yeah.
That, if I'm talking about this specific game, that was one of the most complete games I've ever seen them play.
It was. That was an ass kicking. Simple as that.
That was a complete game
Right.
from this team.
Yeah.
You hadn't seen a game come out of them like that since Campbell's been on board.
No.
And you hadn't seen a game like that from them ever under Patricia.
Oh, hell no.
So that was the most complete game in the last 5 years that they've played.
Yeah. And
Plain and simple.
you play a game like that and against a team that's apparently not for real. Yeah, that's kind of the result you get.
Well, I disagree with you because I still think the Jags are for real. They're for real building. They were look at where they were last year, right? I mean, they were.
If you want to say for real building, then that I agree with you. As
Yeah.
for real right now, I don't think they are.
I mean,
But again, I guess
So
I have to pick
what-
and choose. I have to pick and choose when I say that.
well, so when we say is a team for real, like what are we saying? Are they for real like a playoff Super Bowl contender? Are they for real as in
There's-
like they're
I think there's
they've
stages
got
to it.
progress.
there's stages to it.
Right.
And I think that has to be prefaced. So when we say like a team is for real, I take that to mean that a team has a shot to make the playoffs. I'm not saying like Super Bowl contender, but they have a legitimate shot to make the playoffs. Now, when we say like building for the future, like they're in the building phase for real building, because we always say teams are in a building phase, but you look at it, and it's just like the Lions, like they're we say rebuilding since '57.
I would say you could say building for teams, and you're looking at it and you're like,
Right.
well, they're not building much because I don't see much.
And so when you say building for real, that
Yeah.
I agree with the Jaguars.
I think the
Yes.
Jags are for real under a head coach that I don't really like.
Yeah, you hate that guy.
Don't hate him, but I don't like him. He's not on my hatred list, but I don't really like the guy as a head coach.
Right.
But that's why, for me to say that I think they're for real in what they are, in the fact that they're competitive, that they're gonna be a good team going forward, they're gonna have good games, they're headed in the right direction. For me, that's what I say they're for real. That's how I think they're for real. They're headed in the right direction.
No, and that I absolutely agree
and
with.
under a head coach that I really don't like, so it kind of hurts me to say that. But
So yeah, if we preface it with they're building for real, then yes, I am 100% on board with that statement. But to say that they're for real this year, which in the beginning, middle of the season, I thought, yeah, this team is for real. They looked decent at times. They could hang with some teams, but as of that game, and I don't care who the fuck it was against. I don't give a shit if it was against the Lions. No, that team is not for real. They're not.
right.
For this particular season. So, but yeah, as for them building for real, yes, I think they will be contenders, like at least playoff contenders within
Right.
the next 2-3 years. So, and as for the Lions, do I think they are building for real? Again, it's hard to say objectively yes, because like you, I am jaded as well.
I've seen them, quote unquote, be better than this, right? I've seen
Right.
them make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah.
They've won one playoff game
Right.
in the entire Super Bowl era. There's no team that is worse than them at winning playoff games in the entire Super Bowl era. Like
Right.
they're the worst. There's no team that has less playoff wins than them in the Super Bowl era. With that being said, they've made the playoffs. They've had decent teams.
Yep.
They just end up SOLing at some point in those seasons, whether it's when they make the playoffs at some point. And it's just I have trouble buying into they're on the way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because we've been down this road. At a certain point, after you see things enough times, you have trouble seeing the opposite outcome that of the one that's happened
Right.
so often.
Because you've seen the movie so many times.
Right.
So you know how it ends.
Right.
Now, is there something different about this, I guess, rebuild, I guess, if that's what we're calling it? I guess. The hell?
Yeah,
that-
that's a spam
I would say
on our
that,
Twitch.
that looks totally real.
That's a spam on our Twitch. Somebody spammed our Twitch.
Thanks. Yeah, that looks totally real.
Yeah.
But is there something different about this particular rebuild, one of countless with this franchise? I guess. I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe we have to wait and see what happens with the draft this year, like how they do in the draft this year, and then maybe give my final answer to that question. But as of right now, I can't objectively say yes, this is different than any other quote rebuild that this franchise has had.
And that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I can't do it.
That's where I'm at.
Because again, we've seen it for our entire lifetime.
We'll see in that, and that's where, I mean, at this point, it'd be nice to ask Frank, but as the Lions fan,
Yeah.
we're jaded. We look at it and we go, all right, we've seen this. We've seen them have quote unquote good teams, right?
We have.
And yet they screw the pooch.
Or
So-
they blame the NFL for screwing them over.
Well, that too. But at what point in time, as a Lions fan who's watched for so many years, do you look at this and go, well, I know they have failed miserably over the years, every year, and then they've gotten okay. They've been quote unquote good, and then this right here is different though. Like this right here is different. You know, like they're the greatest 5-7 team you've ever seen,
Right.
and.
I just
You know, I say that jokingly because I've heard nothing but comments of playoffs and this is the greatest 5. But in that same breath, though, I will say that was the most complete game I've seen them play
It
in
was.
5 years.
But here's the thing: when Lions fan says, "Oh, it's different," well, tell me why it's different.
That's my question.
And nobody's been able to give me a legitimate answer as to why it's different.
Other than, well, this regime is different, or this coach is different, this team is different. I mean, yeah,
The things you've heard for 60 plus years.
I would say that's not really different for me because I've heard that
Right.
over and over again every time they get a new head coach
Yeah.
or a new GM or.
It's like
whatever. So-
tell me what is different.
And that's my overall question for this is
Tell me why this regime is going to be different from every other regime previous to it.
right.
And none of them can give me a legitimate answer to that question.
Nobody can.
So, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. And, you know, as much as we bash on the Lions and bash on Lions fans, and honestly, it's deserved. It is. Because we were Lions fans for how long? So we've lived it. We know it. We've lived it. And we decided.
Too long. I wish I'd have given up on it sooner.
Fair enough. And same here. And so we've lived it. And we finally got to the point where we were just done with it. We had enough. But for these guys that are hanging on, you know, I don't want to say you guys are idiots, but I mean, it's
My question is, same like you just said. What makes this different?
right.
We've seen it, right? So what makes this different?
I don't know. There's nothing that I can specifically point to.
And I've yet to get that answer really from anybody.
Right. So, I mean, again, we'll see how it plays out. And again, for those fans that have, you know, stuck around for basically their entire lives, I hope it finally works out for you. I really do. Like I've been asked, like, you know, if the Lions do happen to, you know, go somewhere like on a run, you know, to an NFC Championship game or a Super Bowl, like, are you gonna jump back on them? Fuck no.
No, hell no.
Absolutely not.
No, I won't. And
You're not even gonna like root for them? No,
No.
absolutely not. I hope they lose.
No. I was gonna say honestly, I'm not gonna be that fake person. I hope they lose every single game they ever play.
Same here.
I mean, I'm just not gonna be fake with you and tell you I don't. I mean, as the fans of this team, I would hate it every single minute of the way. But if they ever actually did make a Super Bowl, I would be a little bit happy for the fans. Like, I would look at that and go, man, they stuck on board that long, and they finally got it. They got it. All right. I can see that feeling. That's a good feeling for them. But am I going to root for them at any point through that run? No.
You know what I would do?
No.
I would buy Super Bowl tickets and gouge the fuck out of a Lions fan to buy them. I absolutely would do that. 100%. Oh, you want to go to the Super Bowl? You want to go see your Lions? Okay.
All right.
Okay. we can do that. That's fine. Oh. But we'll see. Again, it's hard to look at this objectively just because of all the years of futility.
I try my best to look at every aspect we talk about objectively,
right.
But I'm not going to lie and tell you I can look at the Lions objectively. I can't. I try.
Yeah.
And there's times where I can make it almost there, but I can't be fully objective. I just can't. And I'm not going to lie about that.
You know who doesn't lie?
Jason Stiltner from Flagstar
You know that's
Bank.
right. If you're a homeowner or looking to be a first-time home buyer, give Jason Stiltner, Senior Loan Officer at Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631. Jason has great mortgage programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance options and excellent interest rates. Again, give my guy Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631 and get the excellent service you deserve. Flagstar Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546. There you go. So, all right. So we off the Lions because I think we kind of hammered that enough.
Yeah,
and we lost a co-host because of it. Deshaun Watson, he makes his return.
What'd I tell you?
It was.
What'd I tell you?
It was not good.
What'd I tell you?
Granted, they won because they played a horrible Texans team.
Well, they won because they had 2 defensive touchdowns, a punt return touchdown.
Yeah.
What did their offense do?
Nothing.
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 And they didn't even get Nick Chubb going because they tried too hard to get Deshaun Watson going.
Right.
So, again, they abandoned what they actually do best to try to appease the one guy you're paying $230 million to.
Hey, you got to make that money back, dude. Come on, now I got to make that money worth it.
But what did I tell you?
You called it exactly as it happened. I was checking. I was kind of watching it on Red Zone a little bit, and I
was I.
And I kept seeing the score go up. I'm like, and then I was looking at checking the stats. And
you're like, he hasn't done anything. He
hasn't done anything. All right. And I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, this is exactly how Joe said it was going to go down. Like
he was 12 of 22, 131 yards,
right,
an interception, and he had a passer rating of 53.4. And he rushed for all of like 20 yards.
That's not good.
Nick Chubb had 17 carries for 80 yards at 4.7 a pop.
How mad does Nick Chubb have to be that his head coach is costing him a rushing title?
I'll be honest with you. At a certain point, they're going to lose Nick Chubb.
Oh, yeah.
Because why would you want to come back to a team like this?
I wouldn't.
The dude's popping off 4.5 to 5 yards a carry every game and doesn't get the ball enough. Like,
he does.
17 carries for a guy who's popping off 4.7 a carry. What are you doing?
Hey, Nick, there's a spot for you in Buffalo, buddy. If you want,
Oh God, that would be dangerous.
I know it would be. I would love it.
Oh man,
that would be great. But yeah, if I were him, I'd be furious with not only my head coach but my offensive coordinator. Like you're literally costing me a rushing title, dude.
It's absurd to me. I just.
And speaking of,
I've said this for a while now, and I'm not going to stop saying it. I fucking Stefanski just needs to go. Like, he is just not the guy, man.
Nope.
He's not the guy.
Well, speaking of rushing titles, I'm looking at Derrick Henry. Is he on the way down?
No, see, I look at that offense as being fucked up as well, man. Like,
like they just got stomped.
They
I thought that was going to be a significantly closer game.
So, and part of the problem is that when they get down, they can't use Derrick Henry.
Right.
So like they have to be in the game. Like they have to be within 10 points in the game in order to continue to use him. You know, he had 11 carries for 30 yards.
He did,
And-
but when I watch him, it doesn't look like he has that burst anymore. That he-
In this game, it didn't. But so this game right now, both teams, you look at it, both teams stopped the run very well, right?
Yeah.
So Miles Sanders had 10 carries for 24 yards at 2.4 a pop, right? Derrick Henry 11 for 30, 2.7 a pop.
right.
There wasn't much going on in the run game on either side. Excuse me. It was all going to be done through the air, and the Titans couldn't keep up.
Right.
They tried.
Well, they don't have the weapons to keep up.
Well, they don't. They tried, but
And the one weapon they had destroyed them.
the thing, right? Exactly. But the thing with Derrick Henry is, he beats your defense into submission, right? He needs more carries
Yeah.
to become better through a game. Like he gets better every carry he gets. If you're giving him 11 carries,
That's not going to.
that's not going to do it.
That's nothing.
That's not going to do it.
That's like 2 drives.
Right, that's not going to do
nothing.
it. So no, that's I don't see him slowing down. I mean, he's proven this season. He's had huge games this season. You've seen him still stiff arm people into a grave. So no, I see this as a one-off game. He's had one-off games like this before, though. Even in his recent years,
Right.
He's had a couple games where he had like 30 yards, 40 yards rushing. That's it. Or I think he's had a couple where he's had 20. But then the next 3 games in a row, he'll pop up 150.
And I think another reason why I think this may be kind of like the descent of his career is because just the injuries he's had, especially to his foot.
So that's the other thing. So you look at what's the lifetime of a running back in the NFL,
Especially a
And
guy like that who
a guy like that who
Dude.
listen, he runs upright, he takes a beating,
Yep.
and he gives a beating. So
and he runs the ball a lot.
yeah, a lot. So the lifetime of a running back who is very good is not necessarily what you would think it is. I mean, it's about a
4 or 5 years.
It's about
4 to
a
6
four.
years?
It's about a 4-year span
Yeah.
of
Peak.
getting the ball that many times, of touching the ball that many times, and taking that pounding. And yeah, at a certain point, when running backs fall off, they fall off pretty fast too, and pretty.
Oh,
steep.
they absolutely by far. I think that's the one. Them and cornerbacks. It seems like once
Yeah.
you like peak cornerbacks, like once you hit that peak,
Yeah.
like you drop like a stone, man.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
you
don't
look
know
at it
why-
happened to like Revis. It's
Yeah.
happening to Jalen Ramsey now.
And I don't know why that is. I can pinpoint it for running backs
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
because it's the pounding you take.
Yep.
With the corners, I don't know, man. I really don't know.
It's so strange. Like you saw it with those guys. You saw it with remember like Nandi Asamoah. He was like
Yep.
great, and then he signed that big deal, and he was just
And then all of a sudden,
done.
Yep.
Like terrible. And it's so strange to me how that happens with cornerbacks. Like
Yeah.
running backs I get it 100% because you're taking that beating, and chances are in college and high school you're running the ball all the time. So now you have to factor that in too. So it's strange. I don't
So, looking at some musings from around the NFL this last week, the Cowboys housed Indianapolis,
Yeah.
fucking housed them.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
54-19.
Yeah.
That was a drubbing. Well, the Eagles, we just talked about it. They 35-10 over Tennessee.
Yeah, they dump trucked the Titans.
So, and then the Lions, obviously 40-14 over the Jaguars.
Yeah.
They dump trucked them. Those were the 3 like blowout games.
Honestly,
Now-
I'm gonna say the Bills Pats game was a blowout too, because the Pats just looked non-competitive in that game.
Yeah, but even like you look
I
at
know it's
that
24-10.
24-10, it wasn't as bad as what maybe it could have been. But
No, because you look at Josh Allen's stats, and it was 22 for 33 for 223. That's not a Josh Allen game.
no.
They ran the ball consistently. They ran the ball all over that
Yep.
that New England defense, and New England they didn't look competitive at all,
Yeah, they really didn't.
especially on offense. And that's when you saw Mac Jones start yelling at Matt Patricia. He goes, "What the fuck are we doing here?" That was awesome. So besides,
I got a newfound respect for him.
Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But that's what
Anybody who yells at Matt Patricia.
like we'll see a lot of times. We'll see a score that we'll say it was like 38-28. That is the final score. But you watch the game, you're like, no, that score didn't indicate how much of a blowout that game actually was.
Right.
And that's how I look at that Bills Patriots game. the Bills dominated that football game.
Right.
And if they played the way that they normally do, and Allen was throwing the ball all over the fucking place, they could have dropped 50 on him easy. But they didn't, and because they could run the ball that game.
Right.
And that obviously you chew up a bunch of clock.
Right.
And it leads to a 20. But the Patriots were never in that game. Never. So I take that as kind of a blowout, even though the score doesn't necessarily indicate it.
Yeah.
Going to Bears-Packers. Rodgers still owns the Bears.
28-19. Yeah, he does, man.
He owns the Bears, man.
Justin Fields came back. He actually had a decent game. He did have 2 picks. Didn't quite look. I know this is going to sound funny because a lot of people are like, "Oh, Justin Fields."
Just think, 20 for 25 for 254, but he threw 2 picks.
Right. That's the 2 picks, right? And you look at that and it's like, all right, I'm not making excuses because everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, he can't throw the football anyway." But you got to remember, he still has that torn ligament on his opposite shoulder, and we talked about this before.
Yeah.
A quarterback who has that, that's still painful to twist, to turn, and throw. But
I can't confirm that.
He went out there and looked good. He still ran the ball well. What do you have? I think he had 70 yards and a touchdown again.
Yep.
He had another long run. I was pretty impressed with his toughness. He missed 1 game with that injury and was out there running the ball again.
Yeah.
Not just out there trying to dump the ball off. Like, he was running the ball again.
Yes.
It was like, all right, man, you got some guts, kid. I like that.
And
you're kind of a leader at this point.
Exactly. You know, the guys in the locker room look up to that and they're like, yeah, I'll
Right.
follow this dude 100%. Unlike that pussy Zach Wilson, fucking gutless motherfucker. And that's why you're not even, you're inactive for like what, 3rd game in a row this week?
Yep.
Yeah, because your teammates hate you. Like your teammates hate you. Because like Saleh knew, he's like, if we bring this guy back, these players are gonna revolt.
Yeah.
Like
You can't.
You can't.
He's done.
Like once you did that at the press conference, and even though you like quote apologized for it, and maybe I handled it the wrong way. No,
Too bad.
No, you said it, dude.
Tough shit.
It's over, man. Sorry.
Tough shit. Steelers beat the Falcons by 3. Fucking. Was there a worse game than the Broncos-Ravens game?
I would say maybe Commanders or Redskins Giants, but
But at least there was more points scored in that game.
I know, but that game absolutely deserved to end in a tie.
I'll be honest with you, the Broncos-Ravens did too.
I know it did. Yeah,
But-
that was I granted. Yeah, Lamar got hurt. I understand.
He got
that.
hurt really early too.
He did. So they had to bring in Huntley.
Tyler Huntley, yep.
But yeah, that game was not a pleasant game to watch. And granted, I was watching it on the Red Zone, so I really didn't have to watch it.
Right. See, same with me. I didn't have it on. Like it wasn't on.
But yeah, that was a really bad football game. There's been a lot of bad football games.
10-9.
Right.
Like that's.
And like we talked. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like we talked about before the show, like the fact that they didn't flex Cincinnati KC into at least Sunday night. And I know they really can't do it with Monday night.
That should have been Sunday night's game.
That
Like we
should-
should have not had to watch Dallas, Indianapolis for Sunday night.
Why
game.
the hell are the Indianapolis Colts on prime time? I get why Dallas is, because it's Dallas. I understand that, but like you looked at that and said, let's see, last year's rematch of the AFC Championship game, or Dallas versus a terrible Indianapolis team on Sunday night. I
Right.
will go with Dallas, Indianapolis. Really?
Wow.
Yeah, somebody messed up on that one, big time. But
Yeah. So that Chiefs Kansas City game.
that was the KC
KC Cincinnati. Yeah.
that was a good football
Yeah.
game. That was fun to watch.
That was a good football game. And again, Cincinnati.
Joe Burrow own
At this point in time,
Jesus.
Joe Burrow owns Kansas City.
Yeah, he
and
does.
Pat Mahomes. At this point in time, Joe Burrow might be Pat Mahomes' dad.
But you saw watching that game, and you saw it. And we've talked about this with Patrick Mahomes. What he did against Cincinnati is he reverted back to what he did last year. He was trying to make that big play every time.
He was pressing.
He wasn't taking anything that was in front of him.
He was
had guys
pressing.
that were like 10 yards in front of him, like wide open. But no, he wanted to make.
He
that
wanted to
big
chuck
play.
it down the field.
Exactly. He
Yep.
wanted to do that. It's like, dude, just take what they're giving you.
And instead of taking what they give him, he wants to run around a little bit and try and create
Yeah.
a big play. And it's like, just take the chunk yards.
Exactly.
Take the chunk.
They're giving it to you, man.
Just take it. Yeah, that Chiefs Bengals game was fun to watch.
It was.
That was a good game.
It was.
You got the Raiders who beat the Chargers. Like that's if there's not like how if you're the Chargers,
God, did we get that division so wrong?
if you're the Chargers, how like fuck, holy shit, man.
Like you have a legitimate franchise quarterback, and you can't put anything around him.
Nothing. Well, so
I mean, yeah, you got Eckler. I get it. And you
But
have
you
Keenan
can't-
Allen, but you don't know when he's going to be healthy.
well, and not to mention, like you can't. Well, Keenan Allen had 14 targets, but only had 6 catches for 88 yards. How do you have 14 fucking targets and only have 6 catches?
I don't know.
He did have a touchdown in there.
Yes, he did.
But 6 for 88 and a touchdown is not a bad stat line. But when you look at the fact he had 14 targets,
That's
holy Christ,
I
man.
don't understand how
What-
that- like-
how do you either he wasn't catching them, and I obviously I was watching Red Zone, so I didn't see a lot.
Right.
Of it. So either he wasn't able to catch him, he was dropping balls, or Herbert wasn't putting him anywhere near him.
so with the Chargers this year, especially with Herbert. Do we give him a pass this year because of his injury?
So I
Because
would,
you know that thing's still.
I
up.
wouldn't say a pass, but yeah, I'd be more likely to go. All right, well,
He gutted it out.
show. So he showed he's a damn good quarterback last year, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we chalk this up to there was injuries and there was problems, there was issues. Let's see what you do next year. Now, if you come out next year and you're doing the same stuff, then maybe you weren't the guy we all thought
Right.
you were. But yeah, I would say maybe not a pass, but
Kind of give him a little bit of leeway.
kind of a little bit of leeway and say, all right, yeah,
Like he-
he broke some ribs like week 2.
Yeah.
So
And that-
that's gotta
That's pretty much going to stay with you the entire season, especially playing that position.
So I am willing to like say, all right, maybe there's extenuating circumstances that
Right.
that lead to this, but I think the offensive play calling is a little bit of an issue. I don't necessarily believe in their head coach. I just don't.
It's funny. Like a lot of people do, and analytics loves that guy. Like,
Right.
Analytic people
Oh
love
yeah. Oh
that
yeah.
guy.
Oh yeah.
And again, we talk about this, I feel like on a weekly basis now, that, analytics are a great tool. They are not gospel. Please
They
stop
shouldn't be.
using
They shouldn't be.
These coaches that use analytics as gospel irritate the hell out of me. It's like, sometimes you just got to go with your eye test. You got to go with your eye test. You got to go with your gut and be like, okay, this is what I'm actually seeing on the field. I don't care what these stupid numbers some nerd with a computer came up with, And I think some games have absolutely. Granted, there's obviously been games that have been won on analytics, but I think there's been a lot of games that have been lost because of analytics.
Absolutely.
And I think those games are lost on analytics because they take those as gospel.
Yep, I would agree with that.
That's my takeaway from that.
The Niners
I was just gonna,
actually handed it to Miami.
They did. They did.
That was, listen, I had them winning. I had them winning by more than the 4.
I think I was with you on that one. I think it's the
Yeah.
Niners as well.
But I believe you did actually.
Almost positive I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you, me, and Eric took the Niners in that one.
Nice.
But it's not that Miami looked bad, but it's what we said, right? That Niners defense was going to be better than the Miami defense. So the Niners offense isn't necessarily great, but they're good enough to put up points. And even after Jimmy G went down, Brock Purdy threw for a couple touchdowns, and then they had a lot of field goals in there. Robbie Gould was on fire. He had a 48, a 43, a 47, and a 36. So he was hitting from distance too.
Yes.
And then they also to end the game off a little bit, they had a defensive fumble return for a touchdown.
Right.
Which put the game completely out of reach. But that San Francisco team, if they can make it through the next few weeks with their backup quarterback,
Right. Like kind of we talked about before the show.
Yep.
And,
If they can make it through with Purdy,
right.
listen, they've got week 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, right? They need to win 3 of those games, I think.
All right. So they have
Even if they win 2 of those games, they're looking at making the playoffs, right?
the Bucs next.
It's a tough one.
That's at home though.
It's at home. That's still tough, though.
It is tough. They got at Seattle.
Okay, that's winnable.
That's a tough game. That's a tough place to play.
Tough place to play, but that's winnable.
It's a winnable game. Then they got to go, then they got Washington coming to San Francisco.
Okay, that's winnable.
I think they absolutely win that game.
Washington has a good defense, but that's a winnable game
That is
at
absolutely
home in San Fran.
And then they got at Oakland or at Las Vegas.
That's going to be tough.
The Raiders might be fighting for the playoff life in that
Right.
game. Or they might be completely out of it.
Yeah, they might be.
So to me, that depends on how their situation is.
Right.
If they're completely out of it, I think San Francisco goes in there and rolls them.
And houses them, yeah.
And then their final game is against Arizona at home.
That's definitely winnable.
Yes.
So, and what I was impressed with was Brock Purdy came in, and he didn't look like a Mr. Irrelevant 7th-round draft pick.
Right.
In case anybody doesn't know what Mr. Irrelevant is, Mr. Irrelevant is the last player picked in the NFL draft, and Brock Purdy is now the only Mr. Irrelevant to throw a touchdown pass.
Yeah. Now,
So he came in, he went 25 for 37 for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick. It wasn't a disgusting looking pick. It was one where you're like, all right, well, chalk that up to just a mistake. But I think he looked to me like he could be good enough
right.
to tread water with them, especially on a team like San Francisco.
Right.
Right. So San Francisco's got a good defense, borderline great defense. They have a good run game.
Yeah.
They have Christian McCaffrey. They have a good offensive line. They can grind games out on you because they have a good enough defense to do that. He doesn't have to go out there and be special.
No, I agree with you.
He just has to be good enough.
He has to manage.
Yeah.
Now, you know how I feel about guys like this. I say, especially with being this is coming toward the end of the season.
Yeah.
If you get 3, maybe 4 weeks before defensive coordinators finally have enough tape on you to figure you out.
Right.
And I think, especially with where we're at in the season, I think the Niners are going to be fine.
Yeah.
They're going CMC and Debo. They're going to get a lot of play. They're going to get a lot of run here because they don't want this dude dropping back 60 times a game.
No.
They just don't.
Nope.
So
even dropping back 37 times,
that's a lot.
Which he did in this game.
Right.
Is probably more than they want him to.
Absolutely. So fantasy owners, I know we're coming up on playoff time. If you got CMC, you might be all right.
Yeah.
You might be all right. But yeah, I think with the amount of games that's left, I think they'll be fine. They're going to make the playoffs. Whether they win the division or not, that's another story. But I think they'll be fine. And then Jimmy G may come back for the postseason. Nobody knows for sure. It's a Liz Frank injury.
It's a possibility at this
Right.
point that he can return from the playoffs.
Yeah, those Liz Frank injuries, you never know. I mean, it's worse for a running back than it is a quarterback.
Yep.
So I mean, there's a chance he comes back, but you never know with that type of injury. So
the Liz Frank injury is on his left foot. So that's not
that's his plant foot, or not? Yeah,
that's not his plant foot. He's right-handed.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
So it's not his plant foot. His back foot is his right foot when he plants.
Yeah.
So that's his step off foot. So it's not as if it's his right foot to where he's
I'm saying
planting
that's the
on
foot
it
he's landing on is his left foot.
when he throws.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not the one that he has to plant on.
No, I know.
And get the momentum
Yeah.
on. So that actually bodes well.
It does.
For it. He doesn't have to plant that in the ground to make the throw. It's the one that he will land on after he throws. Still painful.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at what could be, it's not the foot that he plants with to throw.
Yes. So we'll see how that plays out. Who knows? we'll see.
Yeah. And then last night's game.
Oh God.
Tom Brady won another one in the fourth quarter.
I know they're just
because the Saints just completely collapsed on defense.
God, just like another horrendous primetime football game.
It was bad, and the Saints had that game.
They did.
They had that game.
They were dominating the game,
they-
like the entire game, until what, like 5 minutes left.
And I gotta say, the head coach for New Orleans needs to be called out too.
Dennis Allen.
What's that?
Who's their head coach?
I don't even know what his name is, to be honest with you.
Isn't Dennis Allen?
No,
Is it?
I don't think so.
Oh.
But yeah, it could be. I don't know. But the play calling for them in the fourth quarter was horrendous. Why you're ever having Andy Dalton drop back to throw the ball when you're trying to run out the clock is beyond me. I just don't know what they were thinking
Dennis
there.
Allen.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know what they were thinking.
And then if you're Mark Ingram, why are you running out of bounds, dude?
Oh.
Why are you running out of bounds?
I just
I saw that.
the whole thing in the fourth quarter for them. I just looked at it and I was like, do these people know what's going on?
I saw him do that. I'm like, what are you
What are you doing?
Stay in bounds, dummy. He stopped the clock.
What are you doing?
I couldn't believe he did that. And you saw it. It was like immediately after he did it.
Yeah.
He just he put his hands on his helmet and just like looked down at the ground. He's like,
fuck
"What
are you doing?
What the fuck did I just do?" Yeah, that was a bad football game. It's just amazing how many bad primetime games we've seen this year.
Well,
There's been a lot.
there's been a lot, and it goes back to the fact that for some reason in the first 6 weeks we had to watch 5 primetime
Yeah,
games
Broncos.
with Broncos country. Let's ride.
That's rad.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
So that's kind of what we had for the NFL this week or this past week for what is it, week 13? Week 13?
Week 13.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
So going from the NFL, I think we got to touch on the college football playoff a little bit here.
Yeah.
It didn't stay what we thought it was going to stay. And I told you at least one team is going to get knocked off.
Yeah. So once the game's played out, though,
Yes.
it's exactly what I said it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I had people arguing with me that Michigan was going to play Ohio State because TCU was going to get knocked down to 4 and they were going to bump Ohio State into 3. I said, no, it's not happening.
Nope.
It's not happening. Even though the committee is stupid at times,
Yes.
I said there's no fucking way you can have an idle team jump a team that, yes, they lost,
But they played the extra game.
but they played the extra game and they only lost by 3. Was it 3 points?
yeah, overtime, yeah.
Yeah. Lost by 3 points in overtime
Yep.
to a top 10 ranked team. So, no. Now, was Ohio State going to jump USC? Yes, absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
that was going to happen because they already had one loss in the regular season.
Yeah. And to the same team.
Right. So you were if they lost, Ohio State was getting in. But there's no I said there's no way they're going to put them at 3, even with TCU losing by 3 points because it was a 3-point loss. It was a close loss in an extra game, championship game, against a top 10 team.
In a game that they were playing and that you were not playing.
We're not. So
That's another reason why I can't see in these conference championships.
I agree. You basically give teams that are sitting at home not doing anything
Right.
the chance to backdoor into the playoffs because these other teams are playing extra games and they could falter in those extra games.
Yep.
Now, do I agree with the fact that USC should not be in the playoffs at this point? Yes. They already had one loss. They did lose in the championship game.
And not only
But-
did they lose, they got
housed.
they got throttled.
But to speak on that point, though, do I truly believe the championship games should play into the playoff? No.
Nope.
I think the playoffs should be determined as soon as those championship games are set, not after the championship games are played.
Which is never going to happen.
It's not, but I still
But-
don't believe that that's correct.
But I think with the expanded playoffs coming up, the East Conference Championship game is going to be eliminated anyways.
I hope so.
Because they don't serve a purpose anymore.
They don't.
They won't serve a purpose. They don't even serve a purpose now.
They don't. Not one bit.
So when the playoff becomes
You know what they do serve a purpose for?
Money.
Money,
Television ratings.
and knocking off
Yeah.
teams that are playing an extra game.
Right. Like the whole purpose of these things was extra money, TV rating, revenue. That's it. That was the whole purpose of these things. This whole reason why the SEC started it, I think it was like 92 or 93 they started these things. And that they don't serve a purpose, and like I said, once the playoff field gets expanded here in a couple of years, these are going to be eliminated.
God, I wish it was next year.
I do too. I agree with you 100%. So, being the top 4, we got Georgia playing Ohio State. We got TCU playing Michigan. As I see Michigan taking care of business against Purdue. I was worried there for a minute in the first quarter. They didn't look great in the first quarter, first half. But they did what they've done all season in the second half. They came out, they handled their business, and it ended up being a relatively comfortable win, we'll say. So, I mean, now you got Michigan taking on TCU. It's a good TCU team. I know you really haven't watched Michigan all that much this season, but
So I mean I did watch. I watched enough replay and recaps and stuff to try and talk about it on the show. But
right.
yeah, I mean really, there's maybe a total of 2 games throughout the entire season that I actually saw live.
Right.
And that's with bits and pieces of certain games adding up to 2 full games. I did watch the second half of this last game they played, the championship game. I mean, it kind of struck me as the same thing that's been all year for them. First half is a little bit of a
it's almost like a feeling out process.
Slow, methodical, just kind of hang around, do your thing, feel the other team out, and then the second half, you come out gangbusters and you just run it down their throat.
Like that's that first drive after halftime. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I was just trying to look and see what the 12-team playoff would be at this point.
I've seen a bunch of those. I should have just screenshotted one of them. But like as of now, Michigan opens as an 8-point favorite.
Yeah,
against TCU.
Yep.
And obviously that's gonna go up or down, depending on multiple factors between now and New Year's Eve. I hate that it's on New Year's Eve. And it's it's the afternoon game.
I was gonna say it's the afternoon game,
but I don't like it. Just have it on New Year's Day.
Yeah,
like I get it.
I mean, I don't do shit on New Year's Eve, so I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be watching. The
I really don't anymore either. But I mean, it's just. I think
you know what I will be doing?
What's that?
I'll be watching a football game.
That's true.
I'll be watching football that night.
Yeah.
It's actually a weekend I don't have my daughter, and I will be. I will probably be on my couch.
And shit, Georgia's only
watching football.
6.5. Mm-hmm. Well, interesting.
So, looking ahead to those games,
yeah,
how do you see those games playing out? Now, we'll make our picks closer to the time.
We will,
but
I mean,
if we're forecasting, how do you see that playing out?
Now, I know Ohio State's going to go in with a chip on their shoulder because we deserve to be in anyway, and blah 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 blah, whatever.
I wish I could roll my eyes
right.
large enough for the audience to see it at home.
They're going to be without one of their best wide receivers, and I think they just lost their offensive coordinator too. If I read that
really,
yeah, if I read that correctly.
Wow. Okay.
So I get you're going to come in with a chip on your shoulder. I understand that. But just watching what Georgia did to LSU and just flat out embarrassed them.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was an ass kicking. Mm-hmm. And there's not many things on this planet that make me happier than seeing a Brian Kelly team get housed. That was great. I loved it. So
is there a better walk-on quarterback than Stetson Bennett?
Well, granted, he's what, 25 now?
I think he is 25.
Dude, it's 25. Come on. What are we doing here? 25?
But still,
Come on,
listen.
man. There's got to be a limit here. There should be a limit to age-wise, like your eligibility.
There was
Winky, he was like 28.
Yeah.
Like there should be an age limit. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. 25.
He's I think he is 25.
I think the age limit should be like 23. And all right, you've had enough. Like get out. Well, that's ridiculous. So early on, I look at this game and like it's so hard to just.
Yeah, he was born in '97. He's 25 years old.
Jesus, and it's so hard to say that Georgia's not going to roll them, but you give any team this amount of time to prepare for a game. You give them basically a month to prepare for a game, and
they're going to come in well rested because they didn't have to play that extra game.
Exactly, and they're going to be hyped up, chip on the shoulder,
right,
etc. So. I do think it's going to be a closer game than a lot of people think it's going to be. I do think ultimately Georgia wins. But
yeah, I agree.
I think it's going to be close. I want to say like a 10-point game, something like that. Maybe 2 touchdowns, like late though.
I was going to say I'm going to give this probably a 2-touchdown game. I think Georgia's going to win this one by 2 touchdowns.
Right. I don't think it's
not sure how it's going to play out, but I mean, when you think about it, they only beat LSU by 20, so that's 3 touchdowns,
right?
Or 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
But that's like one of the games I was talking about earlier. Like the score of that game didn't indicate how much of an ass kicking that actually was.
No, I agree.
Like Georgia just flat out dominated LSU that game.
Yeah.
Like they could have scored on every drive if they wanted to, but they didn't. As for Michigan TCU, I mean, having not watched TCU a lot this year. But I see what kind of offense they run. They run that spread. And Michigan's always had problems with spread offenses.
They have a mobile quarterback.
They have a mobile quarterback, which Michigan's always had problems with that. Granted, Michigan has a relatively fast defense.
The spread right now is at 7.5 for the Michigan game.
Right.
It's come down.
Okay.
And Georgia's 6.5.
So people are throwing money on the.
Looks like people are throwing money on TCU.
Yeah. which I get it.
If that's coming, yeah, because it came down. What did it come down a half? Oh no, it was 8.5 when it started off, wasn't it?
It was either 8 and 8.5, yeah.
Yeah, so it's come down either a full point or a half a point.
Okay. Like I said, not having watched TCU a whole lot. I mean, I watched a decent amount of them, I guess. But like I said, they have offenses, an offense that Michigan historically has struggled with. But I think now they finally have, I guess, the athletes to somewhat deal with it. You're not going to stop it completely. You're just not.
Right.
But I do believe Michigan has a pass rush that can actually get to the quarterback. And that's the thing, though, with these mobile guys. If you get to them, you got to get them down. You can't just let them, run around back there and find like some wide open dude 20 yards down the field.
You have to be able to contain.
Yes. Now,
So you need your defensive ends to play disciplined football.
You do.
You need them to not break contain.
right.
Don't let the quarterback get outside of you.
And keep things in front of you.
Yeah.
Don't let people behind you.
Nope.
Now,
And that's what they need to do. I mean, that they need to keep contain, and that's what they haven't done in the past on running quarterbacks. So
Now, with that being said, this game I think suits well for Michigan's offensive line. If you just keep doing what you've done the entire season and just be
dominant.
a dominant offensive line, and you just keep giving the ball, because Donovan Edwards, his hands should be significantly better by then, I would think. And you see what he's done with a broken hand,
Right.
And his dominant hand to boot.
Yeah. So he's got what, 3 weeks to heal up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, if he can do what he's done these past two games, against Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, I think that bodes very well for Michigan. Because I think it'll definitely help with the clock management. So ultimately, I think this is actually I think that spread's dead on. I really do.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like a touchdown, maybe 10-point game. But I do think Michigan will win. And then you're going to end up and the committee wants it so bad. They want Michigan Ohio State so bad. Or who's that? Is it ESPN or Fox? I think Fox has the national championship, right?
okay.
It's one of I forget which one has
But-
it. But
I think everybody involved wants to see Michigan Ohio State.
no, ESPN has it because they're the ones doing all the pre-shows
They
and shit.
they
so.
want Michigan Ohio State.
Oh, they absolutely want Michigan
for a
Ohio
national.
State.
So
That'll be the most watched college game ever.
it would rival Super Bowls.
I think it would.
And not to mention, if it was Michigan Ohio State, whichever school won that game, that would be the ultimate win in school history.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a signature win,
Oh yeah.
if we're talking signature wins, for a lifetime.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there would be no better win than that.
Nope.
Whichever one of those schools won, they would have that to hold over the other school forever.
And even if they played a second time, it wouldn't matter. It's like, we won the first one. Who cares? We won the first one. That's it. Like, because now with it going to be an expanded playoff, there's a chance that they can meet down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it wouldn't matter.
But it wouldn't matter.
It would.
Because the first one.
Yeah. We won the first one.
Right. And
So-
that would, like, so speaking from Michigan's point of view, yeah, you beat Ohio State in the regular season, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you go to the national championship game with Ohio State
Yeah.
and you lose, that puts that win against them null and void, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
It's null and void.
Yeah. But we beat them twice in a row. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. They
means-
beat you for the national championship game.
Yep.
So
They beat you.
that would be the ultimate win for either one of those schools.
You know what else is the ultimate win?
The Joe Wright Group.
You know that's right. Whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 4 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move with the right group, the Joe Wright Group. Give Craig Joe Wright, Mike Bush, Shane Wilson, and Alex DeRocher a call today at 248-535-4750 to fulfill all of your real estate needs. There you go. Let's go. You son of a bitch. I was waiting for it. I was like, when is he going to do it?
Well, the beginning of the show got derailed, so I really wasn't sure whether I was going to play it today or not. It was,
Yeah.
kind of threw off the mojo.
A little bit.
But-
I would say, yeah. But what can you do? So, I kind of want to get into hockey a little bit.
Okay.
Just because the Red Wings are actually decent. They're actually in a playoff spot right now,
Amazingly, they are.
which I think is fantastic. Even though I'm not a Red Wings fan, even though I am currently wearing a Red Wings jersey, but it's just for show because.
And right now they're beating Tampa 1-0.
There you go. They are. I mean, they're 12-7-5 right now, and I believe they are on the wild card side of things in the Eastern Conference. They are actually 2 points right now behind Tampa in the standings in the Atlantic Division. So this is a big game right now, because
Big game.
because if Detroit wins this game, I believe that puts them squarely in the playoffs, not wild card. I think it puts them squarely in. So, which would mean you'd get a Toronto Detroit first.
Right
round
now they're
matchup.
in 8th
Right.
in the division.
Right.
Or in the conference, sorry.
So I love what they're doing. I love how Yzerman's put this team together. Yeah, they've had some less than stellar efforts this year, but again, with all the young talent you have on this team,
You're going to have those.
you are absolutely going to have those. I think they've gotten solid goaltending. I think they're finally doing. It's funny when you actually have a coach who knows what the fuck he's doing and has a championship pedigree. Granted, he wasn't the head coach in Tampa, but I mean, if you're the assistant to John Cooper, who I believe is the best coach in the NHL right now, you're learning from that guy. Yeah, you bring that with you, and guys, especially young guys, are like, okay.
Ville Husso was such a great pickup by Yzerman.
Did St. Louis swing and a miss on that one? You decided to keep psychopath Jordan Binnington over Ville Husso. Nice work, guys.
And when you look at it, I mean, he's had 17 starts.
Yeah.
He's got 10 wins, 4 losses, 3 overtime losses. He's got 3 shutouts.
Yeah.
He's got a .912 save percentage and 2.58 goals against.
Right.
Now, if you look at who their starter was last year with Nedeljkovic, he's significantly behind that one, right? I mean, he's only started 7 games.
Yeah.
He's 2-3-2, right? And he's got a .396 goals against average and a .880 save percentage, significantly lower than Ville Husso. So that was one of the biggest. That's one of the biggest differences to this season, in my opinion, is you have good goaltending. You have rock solid goaltending back there as opposed to what you had last year.
And this has been a huge, huge issue in the NHL this year. Is you're seeing games this year where remember we used to say like a 2-goal lead is the worst lead in hockey.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't matter because the game has opened up so much, and these guys are so skilled and so fast. And like even if you're down 3, if you get down 3 in the first period, how it used to be, oh shit, it's fucking over.
Game's over. Yep.
No, just wait till the third period. They're gonna come back, and it's not so much on the goalies anymore because as a defenseman, you can't do what you used to be able to do.
Right.
And so you got a guy like McDavid or one of these guys that can skate because all these guys can skate now.
Right.
Like all of them. And you got a guy coming at you at like 35 miles an hour, like skating full speed. You can't stop him.
Yep.
You can't hold him. You can't clutch him. You can't do anything. So it's like, okay, what do I do here? And then the goalie's got to take the brunt of that. So you look at the goalie's save percentage, which I think the league average right now is like .90, which it's not great, but it's average.
Right.
And I think now when we have to look at like a goalie's save percentage, I think we have to take that into account. Like, guys are they're better shooters, they're faster. It's so like we used to say, if you got like a 9.2 save percentage or 9.3 save percentage, like that goalie's outstanding. He's great.
Well, and that's Husso's got a 9.12.
Right.
As opposed to Nedeljkovic, which is a .880. You know what I mean? So
that's fucking bad.
That's a huge difference, and to me, that is the biggest difference this year in this hockey team.
Right.
And the fact that they are competitive.
So the guy that St. Louis kept, Jordan Binnington, as opposed to Ville Husso's stats, he is 9-11. He's got a 3.42 goals against. He's got a .88 save percentage.
So basically, he's Nedeljkovic.
Yes. And he's a psychopath to boot.
Yeah.
Because he like wants to like fight people like all the time. He tried to check Eric Stahl the other night, and Stahl just like ran right over him. It was great. And it's just like, and then finally his coach finally called him out, and Craig Berube, who like I remember, you remember watching that guy growing up playing, like that guy was a fighter. That guy was a tough guy.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's saying, "Dude, stop,"
What are you doing?
like just knock it off, just stop the puck, dude. If he's saying that,
Be a goaltender.
be a goal. Stop the puck, man. You can't let in 5 a night and just keep doing that shit. You know.
Nope.
So, a great move by the Red Wings in that regard. Horrible move by the St. Louis Blues, because, and that's another thing with the league this year. This league has been so streaky. Like, you look at what the Bruins have done. They got off to a fantastic start. They're still chugging along. We're watching the Devils versus the Blackhawks right now. The Devils, I don't want to say they came out of nowhere, but they did it right. They built it the right way. They drafted well and let these guys develop instead of trying to hijack the rebuild. It's like just let it sit, let it build organically.
Let it simmer.
Exactly. And you see this team comes out and they rattled off 13, 14 wins in a row. They're going to make the playoffs this year, barring a huge collapse.
Oh yeah, they're number 2. They're number 2 in the Eastern Conference right now, behind only Boston.
Right. You look at Seattle right now. They're on a heater, which I fucking love. That's great. Like last year they were terrible because they couldn't get saves. And that's the biggest thing this year, I think, is
Seattle is second in the Western Conference.
exactly. Like that's one of the biggest things this year is you got to score, and these teams are going to score because they're just most of these teams are just offensively good, except maybe the Ducks, because the Ducks are just horrendous. But a lot of these teams are saying, just give us a save.
Well, the Blue Jackets are right there with them as being
that's fair.
horrendous.
That's fair. But like,
along with the Blackhawks,
yes,
Coyotes. There's some bad teams.
there is some bad teams. Yes,
I think I just named them all, but there's some bad teams.
but like all these teams are looking for is just give us a save, like a save when we need it.
Right.
Give us a big save when we need it. So honestly, like watching the games this season in particular, honestly, it almost kind of reminds me of like 80s hockey when it's like you're getting like 5-4 games, 6-4 games, whatever. And I'm fine with that in the regular season. Like, whatever. It's what it is. You guys are going to call penalties. You're going to give each team like 7 power plays a game. All right, fine. That's what people want to watch, and if it helps grow the game, fine. I'm cool with it. But if you do this shit in the playoffs,
But my problem is it's not helping grow the game.
I think it is, actually.
I disagree. I don't think it's helping get any more followers. I don't.
Really?
I don't.
Okay.
I just don't. I think a big step is having it back on ESPN.
No, that helps too. I'm not saying that this is the only reason why it's gaining. But
I think that helps, but I just don't see that hockey. I don't see hockey growing a fan base that is not already there. I just don't. Okay. And maybe I'm not seeing the things that you do. I'm not as active on social media, or at least certain social medias. So maybe you see more of it than I do.
I just look at a place like Arizona, and we want to like say, hey, get the Coyotes out of there, get the Coyotes out of there. And frankly, I don't think there should be a team there, but I understand why there still is a team there because A, somebody wants to own a team there, and B, because that market is, believe it or not, it's actually huge. Like for youth hockey,
Really?
they can't build rinks fast enough.
Really?
Because, yeah, absolutely. So I get it. I get as much as I don't want a team there. I understand why there is. I mean, let's say like a guy like Austin Matthews, he's from Arizona.
Right.
Like if the Coyotes don't exist, does he play hockey? It's so. I obviously it's never going to be as big as basketball, football, or baseball. It's just not.
Right.
Or soccer for that matter, because I think soccer is past it. But I do think it is trending upward, and if games keep going like this, where you're going to get kind of scoring like the 80s and hell even early 90s, people love that. Like you look at the NFL, that's how they tailored the game now, is to more scoring. People want to see that. That's how the NBA is, more scoring.
Right.
People want to see that. And this is why baseball is actually trending downward, is because there's not that much scoring. There's not.
Right.
Because everybody strikes out. It's either a strikeout or a home run. It's ridiculous.
Right. That's literally what it is. Strikeout or home run.
So you see a game like hockey.
If they're getting base hits or singles. They're getting singles or triples or whatever. It's typically at this point it's almost on accident.
Right. Now I think next year, since they've banned the shift, I think that will help a little bit. Because somebody I forgot what guy it was, one of the analysts. He literally broke it down the shift and all these numbers and all this shit from the past 5 years or whatever. Yeah, the shift works. 100% it works. It's killed the offensive game. It's killed it by at least I want to say 2 runs a game. So it's like, well, okay, that's legitimate,
Yeah.
But I think people they like to see a game with action that's fast, and they want to see scoring. And the NHL is absolutely trending in that direction.
Right.
Now, do I want to see this shit in the playoffs? No, absolutely not. I don't want to see any of this shit in the playoffs because the game will change anyways.
Right.
And that's why, in my opinion, playoff hockey is the best. But
Yeah, to me, and I'm a football guy, but to me, there's nothing better than playoff hockey. Playoff hockey's awesome.
playoff hockey is awesome.
You know what else is awesome?
At Your Service by Pat.
Yes.
Okay. Looking to brighten up your home or commercial building? Give At Your Service by Pat a call today at 248-794-0008 for your free estimate. At Your Service by Pat specializes in home and commercial building cleaning. Services include roof and house cleaning featuring soft wash, which is a longer-lasting alternative to pressure washing. They also offer window cleaning, concrete cleaning, deck and fence restoration, gutter services, and more. So call At Your Service by Pat for your free estimate today at 248-794-0008.
Let's go, Buffalo! Let's go, Buffalo!
Nicely done.
Yeah.
So,
Eric agrees. Nothing better than playoff hockey.
yes. Oh, she
I can hear. I can hear it
I
upstairs.
hear it upstairs. So how are I don't even want to know how our picks went last week. At least mine anyway. I know
yeah,
I don't
so-
remember shit.
No, actually, we all did fairly well.
all right.
This was a week where we all were not bad.
Nice.
So let's see. The picks this last week. I won the week.
Look at you, buddy.
At 10-5.
Nice.
All based off of I only got one NFL.
Yeah, you
game wrong.
had a good NFL week.
Yeah. Out of the NFL picks, I only got one wrong. So that helped carry me this week.
Okay.
Because I only got 2 of the college picks right out of 6 of them. I only got 2 right. So Eric and you were in second at 9-6.
I'll take a winning week.
Right.
Yeah, baby.
And Frank and Andrew were technically third, but they had 8-7. So we all had a fairly decent week.
We all had winning weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody had a winning week this week. So
I dig it.
the year record is so Eric. It's kind of in last because he's picked less weeks also, but
Right.
63, 81, and 4.
Okay.
And then it's Frank at 76, 91, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Then it would be me at 78, 89, and 4.
Okay.
Then is you. You actually have a winning record.
Yeah.
84, 83, and 4.
I'm like the Lions.
You're one game.
I'll celebrate mediocrity.
You are the best 5-7 team I've ever seen.
I love it. I'll take it.
And then Andrew obviously is still kicking our ass. 87, 79, and 4.
Jesus. That's
So
pretty
he's
solid.
only 3 games ahead of you at this point, though,
Hey.
and
let's-
nine ahead of me.
All right, let's see if I can pull out a good week because it's all NFL from this point on. So,
Yeah,
besides the obviously the playoff game, unless we can do unless you want to do bowl games too.
yeah, we're gonna do bowl games.
All right,
we're absolutely.
All right,
gonna
then
do
never
bowl
mind.
games.
I retract that statement.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do bowl games, and there is no bowl games coming up this week, so it's all gonna be NFL,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah.
I didn't see any bowl games. At least I didn't look.
No, I think
didn't look either. So.
Well, let's see here. I just have top 25 pulled up, so I'll pull up all FBS.
Right.
There is a bowl game this week.
Is there?
Oh, there is a game this week. It's Army Navy.
Oh,
Saturday, December 10th.
we can add that.
Let's add that.
Let's add that. I would say if you're gonna bet it, bet the under. 100% bet the under.
So the under is only 32.5.
Bet the under. I think the under is hit like 9 years in a row.
So do you want to add this one on to the computer there?
Yeah, I can do that.
So it's Navy and Army. Navy's -1.5.
All right, what is it?
Navy and Army, and Navy is -1.5.
Navy is -1.5.
Yeah.
All right. Minus 1.5. Okay. I guess give me Navy. Which I think.
Well, hold on. We're not picking yet.
No, I thought we were picking.
Sorry, I didn't.
Which I think is the
This
best.
segment is brought to you by the Joe Wright Group.
It's time!
Which I think this is the best rivalry in college sports. Personally.
Army Navy.
Yes.
It's up there.
I think it is.
It's up there.
I think it's absolutely the best rivalry in college sports. But I digress. That being said, give me Navy.
I'm going to take Army in this one.
Okay.
I'm going to take Army. And obviously, I think we're going to have to get Frank and Andrew's picks at a different time. We'll see.
Couldn't care less.
We'll see.
You want to storm out like a baby?
Eric-
I don't care about your pick.
Eric has Army.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on to the NFL. First game of the week.
Are you putting these in?
Oh, no. I'm
I'm gonna need you to.
Got it. All right. You took Army?
Yeah, I took Army. So did Eric, and then you took Navy.
And Eric took Army. Okay. Moving on. Next up, hit the NFL. First game we got the Raiders laying 6, taking on the Rams.
All right. Oh.
I know, man.
Honestly, though, the Rams are such a shit show.
Yeah.
Raiders, they had a good game this last week. They beat the Chargers. Give me them minus the 6 in this game to beat the other LA team, this time in LA.
I am also taking the Raiders. I think they win by at least a touchdown. What does Eric got?
Nothing yet, but there is a delay. He said Las Vegas, but I don't like it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. But the Rams are such a shit show at this point, man. They've lost everybody. Like, they're a mash unit.
They really are.
Like, they're picking up guys off the street. Like, honestly, Eric, if you feel like playing football, I think the Rams are hiring.
Right. Next up, we got the Jets taking on the Bills. The Bills are laying 9.5.
Oh, wow. In Buffalo?
Yep.
Man, that's tough. Jets are a fighting 7-5 team. They're fighting. I think they're fighting for their playoff lives. Give me the Jets getting 9. Eric says he needs money. Well, I mean, I think the Rams are hiring, so league minimum is pretty good salary for us.
Yeah, I think it'll be all right. Hey, it's Mike fucking White season. Give me the Jets.
Mike fucking White. Yep, and Eric says the Jets as well.
Give me the Jets. Next up, we got Baltimore taking on Pittsburgh. Rivalry game. Pittsburgh's laying 3.
This one's tough. Dude. Now, Baltimore's without Lamar Jackson by all accounts. He's a week-to-week basis on his injury, but by all accounts, he's definitely going to miss this week. Tyler Huntley's coming in at quarterback. If you're talking fantasy, Tyler Huntley's not a bad quarterback to play because Pittsburgh is not very good against the quarterback. They give up a lot of fantasy points to him, but we're talking reality here. Pittsburgh at home, playing a backup quarterback. Give me Pittsburgh minus the 3.
It's difficult because, again, you don't know if Lamar's going to play. And even if he does play, he's not going to be 100%.
He's not playing. I will put money on the fact he's not playing.
I am going to roll with Pittsburgh as well.
Waiting on that pick. But, yeah, this is one of those games. Listen, if Eric's taking the Ravens, taking Baltimore. If Lamar was playing, first of all, it wouldn't be Pittsburgh minus 3.
That's true.
Second of all, I would take the Ravens, even though they haven't necessarily looked very good this year. But without Lamar, not that Tyler Huntley's not okay, but he's not Lamar.
He's not Lamar.
So,
and it's funny, you look at Baltimore, and they have, 4 losses?
I believe so.
They're
8-4.
And I'm fairly certain all those losses they were winning at some point.
They
in
were,
this game.
every one of them. Every one of them they were winning by double digits.
That's amazing. All right.
Yep.
So shit, if they just win 2 of those games,
Yep.
they're
10-2.
Yeah, they're the number 1 seed.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yep.
It's a thin line, man. Next up, we got the Eagles taking on the Giants. Philadelphia's laying 7.
Man. Well, the Giants just ground out a tie against the Redskins in a very highlightless game.
Let's just call it what it was. It was a bad football game.
Yeah, and listen, the Eagles are rolling, man. They've lost 1 game. They do have faults, but I don't see them losing this game. Do I see them winning by 7 in New York? Honestly, yeah, I do. I see them rolling in this game. I see them trying to make a statement in this game. Give me Philly minus the 7.
I'm with you on that one. I'm taking Philly as well.
And Eric is also taking Philly.
Next up, we got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati's laying 6.
I'm not going to overanalyze this game. I'm just going to be like, give me Cincinnati minus the 6 in Cincinnati. Just give me that
I am also rolling with the Bengals.
against the Watson.
Watson Cosby massage parlor.
Eric takes Cincy as well.
Okay.
Yeah, Watson Cosby massage
I
parlor.
love that. One of the greatest fancy names ever. Next up, we got Tampa Bay traveling to San Francisco. The Niners are laying 3.5.
Give me San Francisco in this game with a backup quarterback at home. I think Tampa Bay is in shambles right now. They barely beat a New Orleans team that is not very good at home in Tampa. They had to come from behind in the fourth quarter to do it. They needed New Orleans to shit the bed in the fourth quarter in order to do it. And all those things happened. I don't see San Francisco being that way at home. This game is only minus 3.5 because they have Mr. Irrelevant starting at quarterback.
I agree with you on
So with the Niners defense and with the Niners run game, I still take them to beat Tampa by more than 3.5.
I'm with you on that one. I am also taking San Francisco.
As is Eric.
All right. Next up, we have the Dolphins laying 3.5, taking on the Chargers.
So, all right. So this one, the Chargers, they shit the bed against Vegas,
Yep.
right? I mean, they gave up big play after big play. They gave up 150 some yards rushing to Josh Jacobs, which, listen, he's been running all over everybody. So I mean, it is what it is. But Miami just lost in big fashion to San Francisco. I see them coming out in this game trying to make a statement that they are a playoff team. They are for real. Give me the Dolphins to win this game by more than 3 points over the Chargers.
I am going with the Chargers in this one. Simply because, I get they just got housed against, or the Dolphins just got housed against San Francisco. They may want to make a statement, and that's all well and good, but making that cross-country trip 2 weeks in a row, that's tough. That's tough. Yeah. Give me, and the Chargers are, they're basically, they have to win.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice. They have to win. Give me the Chargers.
Eric is taking Miami.
Okay. Next up, we have the Patriots laying 1.5, taking on the Arizona Cardinals in a game I do not give 2 fucks about.
Yeah, this is going to be not very good football
This
game.
is a game I probably won't spend 10 seconds on.
I will watch it because I always watch primetime games.
Right.
Well, not always. So listen, it'll be on at some point. I'll see some of it.
It'll be on, but it doesn't mean I'm going to pay attention to it.
Yeah. Man, give me Arizona at home with Mr. Fucking I play video games way too much. Yeah, Eric, you're right. This is going to be an ugly game.
This is going to be like the game last night. It's going to be
Give me
17-16 bullshit.
Yeah, give me Arizona winning by like a last minute field goal or something. Getting 1.5. Yeah, give me Arizona.
I guess
Fucking-
whatever.
just-
I'll take Arizona. Fuck it. I don't care.
I hate taking Kyler Murray at all.
I do
At
too.
all, right? Because I hate their coach too. Cliff Kingsbury
There you
is he's not a very good football coach.
No,
He was all hype. No substance.
right. No, I agree with that.
Eric takes New England.
Oh, really? All right. Let's see if there's any changes to the offensive scheme in this one. When Mac Jones yells at Matt, I want to see him yell at Matt Patricia again. That was funny. Next up, we have Jacksonville, who is not for real, or they are for real, I guess. Whatever. You have to pick and choose when you can say that. Taking on Tennessee. Tennessee's
Well,
laying
you say they're
3.5.
not for real because they finally lost to Detroit.
Yeah.
I say they're still kind of for real because for me, for real means they're building something real.
Right.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I digress.
But I there's a certain time when I can pick and choose when they're not for real. So whatever.
And for you, it's when they lose to the Lions.
Yeah, right.
Hello, lady.
Oh shit, we don't have any cups. Oops. Oh, whatever.
That's all right.
It's all good.
All right, Jaguars, Titans. In Tennessee, Tennessee's minus 3.5. I'm actually going to take Jacksonville in this one. I'm going to take them to come back and bounce back in this game.
I have to take Tennessee.
Eric is taking Tennessee. Why do you have to take
I have
Tennessee?
to take Tennessee. You're taking Jacksonville, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why do you have to take Tennessee?
Because I have to.
Oh, okay. Well, all right then. Okay.
Who's Eric taking?
He's taking Tennessee as well.
Okay. And next up, the biggest game of the week. The Vikings are taking on the Lions. The Lions are laying 2.5. Minnesota is like the most fraudulent.
I'm never going to not pick the Lions anymore. I'm just going to pick the Lions from here on out.
Okay.
Lions
by 1 million.
Lions are going to win every game from here on out.
I'm with you. Lions by 1 million.
They're the best 5-7 team I've ever
go.
seen.
Eric.
They're the best 5-7 team
And we know Eric.
ever in the history of the NFL.
And we know Eric's taking the Lions, right?
Oh yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
He
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
said Lions. Yep.
And there it is. Those are your picks.
Those are the picks.
Yes. Lions,
All right.
Lions by 1 million.
Lions. Why do we all take Lions?
3 of us did, yeah.
All three of us took Lions.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. I think I can guarantee that Frank and Andrew would take the Lions
Of course.
because. Oh. Well, there's all the foam.
Unbelievable, dude.
I would probably move your phone if I were you.
No, it's not going that far, but son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Do we have cups? Do I need to get cups?
Yep.
All right.
Oh my god. That's not good. Fucking A, man. What is it with these beers that we get and they just like mushroom like that? So many of them. All right. This is no good. Oh. All right, so there's already a defect in this beer we're about to try. So
Eric said that was alcohol abuse.
oh my god, and nothing I can do about it. I just opened the damn can and it started foaming up like crazy.
Liar.
All right, so this is from Ellison Brewing Company, and it is called Crescent Fresh India Pale Ale.
Okay.
All right, motherfuckers, let's take a timeout and taste this.
Oh my god.
Yes, my child.
Yeah, this is no good. This is not gonna work.
No.
No, it's too foamy. It's
Really?
It's all, dude. It's just foam coming out.
Wow. All right then.
Yeah, this is definitely. It's like that one we had a couple weeks ago that did the same thing. It was just foam.
Oh.
It's no good. Yeah, there's no taste this week because it's just fucking foam. It's going all over the place.
I just got a picture from my buddy Jeremy.
Yeah.
Of his brand new baby girl, and he says new SOTDET fan.
Yeah. All right.
All
I
right.
dig it.
Hey, congratulations, brother.
All right. Let's try this again.
Being a dad is one of the best things on the planet, man. You're gonna enjoy it.
I don't know. It's all foam. It's like I just pour like a little bit and it's just foam.
Well, at least give us just a little bit, and at least we can taste it and do what we got to do.
There we go.
So yeah, it's a lot of foam.
I know.
Why?
I don't know.
The fuck?
It's not like we shook it or anything.
Are you just going to taste it out of there?
I have to. I don't have a choice
All
because
right.
this one's full.
All right.
Of foam. Cheers.
Well, that tasted like IPA foam.
Yeah. Yeah.
That tasted like the foam.
I got
from an IPA.
I got a little bit of beer out of it.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah. It's nothing special.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's a very average IPA.
Yeah. I would say,
What's the name of this one again?
it's from it's Crescent Fresh India Pale Ale.
Yeah. Do better.
Yeah. Especially with your bottling.
Do better.
Assholes.
Be better. Anyway, whether you're having drinks with friends or just want something fun and different to listen to, take a Time Out with Steven Scott, presented by Bald Man Entertainment. Time Out with Steven Scott is drinking, jokes, wrestling, movies, memories, and so much more. Every show, they taste and sample different drinks and foods, which is where we got this segment from. That's Time Out with Steven Scott, presented by Bald Man Entertainment.
And this segment works so much better when the when the drink you get actually, pours correctly and doesn't, foam up as soon as you open the damn can.
Look them up on YouTube or at timeoutpodcastwss.com. And be sure to follow them on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. That's Time Out with Steven Scott, presented by Bald Man Entertainment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely give them a listen. Is there any word on when they're going live yet?
No. Actually, I was thinking about shooting them a message tonight after the show, seeing what was going on with them. But yeah, they when they are on, they are enjoyable.
Agreed. Yeah, I hope they get the I hope they get to go live here soon because that would be.
Let's go, Buffalo! Let's go, Buffalo!
Yes.
Oh. Fumble. Fumbleooski, Fumbleini.
It got tipped at the line.
Fumble.
It got tipped at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, all right, thanks.
I didn't hear a word she said.
No, I got it.
Oh,
I heard what she said.
I didn't.
She's like, bring it
But I
back.
also have headphones on, so
Yeah.
I didn't hear shit.
This is a fucking mess over here.
Hello, lady.
This is an absolute mess we got going on over here.
Do we have anything else we want to get into before the end of the show?
Not-
I think we're going to end the show with you cleaning the table.
I have to, man. This is bad.
So give us a like, a share, and a follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts at your favorite podcast provider. Check out SOTDET.com, where you can check out all of our fantasy stats, our blogs.
Hey, buy stuff.
Click on shop and shop for some SOTDET merchandise and gear.
Because Christmas is coming up. Buy stuff.
Yeah. Again, that's SOTDET.com. On behalf of Chris and Frank somewhere, I am Joe. We are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye, have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No, 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 no.
Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
We've been through our ups and been through our downs.
And you were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I have ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.